This is Dave Jacobs. I'm the chapter director of Gainesville chapter in Gainesville, Florida. And we're here at Sunshine District LeadAC, and we're doing the Music Vice President's class here at LeadAC. So what we're going to do is to go through at least what we need to do for who needs to be on the music team, who is under the Music Vice President's purview, as it were, and we'll go through this and see if we can come up with an ideal framework for a music leadership team. So first of all, your music leadership team is very simply a group of men who works together to meet the needs of the chapter. Okay, meet the musical needs of the chapter. So everything under the musical side is what you guys have to deal with. Okay, administratively, musically is all under your purview. Why have a music leadership team? Well, let's look at that. The music leadership team, involving more people in it, lets people specialize in particular areas. Takes things away from the director, so he can concentrate on other things, and getting more people specialized in the chapter will help the quality of the chorus. Communication and buy-in. You involve more people in the process of creating your music product, and they will have more ownership in that product, and have more give in the final result. Developing talent. If you're using more your coaches and your assistant directors and your section leaders more, the more you're able to use them, the more you're able to develop them to become, so your section leaders can then become your next assistant directors, and your assistant directors are then groomed to be your next directors in your chapter. So that's always important. Lets them get and test their skills and build on them. And member retention. Member retention, really anything we do in our chapter, whether it be the musical team, the program, the membership guy, we're always looking to keep our chapters thriving and with members, and having a variety in your program, and that includes having more people in front, adds more interest to the chapter meeting. And involving more people in that process keeps them coming back, because they do have that ownership. And having a more interesting program and having more involved members keeps them wanting to come back to the chapter every week. So who is on the music leadership team? Now, the music leadership team includes both the musical side of the product and the administrative side of the program. And leading this effort is you guys, the Vice President of Musical Performance. The VP is elected as an elected board position. It becomes the music program's voice on the board. It has a major responsibility in the areas of organization, administration, and communication. Okay, you're the administrative, the corporate head of the music program. Qualifications for the VP: good organizational skills, communication skills. Real big one is the willingness to dedicate the extra time it's going to take, because this is a time-consuming effort to see this large program. Some musical background is recommended, and usually at least 3 years in the society, so you kind of know the ropes of the society. The responsibilities you'll be covering is really to coordinate all of the music team and all of its activities, attend all the board meetings and speak for the team, schedule and chair music team meetings, and especially the annual planning session, because we do need to have planning in this thing. Aid in the planning of the music program for the chapter, select the music team personnel, prepare a budget, coordinate with other VPs that you need to work with, like the program VP on guest night and the membership VP on guest night, and program VPs for other events that you might be doing. Make sure your chapter library is legal. That's a little bit important too, so that's a good one too. And you're going to be supervising all the support team members of the team. So that's what you guys do. Now the other the other side of this two-headed monster we have in the music program is this guy over here called the music director. Now, your music director is typically hired or appointed by the board. Okay, he's responsible for the music teaching and performance side of the music program. Okay? With the assistance of you, he selects the musical staff, section leaders, and the coaches and assistant director personnel. Okay. His qualifications: good organization skills. All these will have good organizational skills, by the way. Good communication skill required for all these, pretty much. Good skills delegating duties. Okay. I happen to be a director. I'm not all that good at this one, but I'm working on getting better there. You know. Willingness to dedicate extra time, because director is certainly time intensive also. He's got to have some musical background, and it has to have some knowledge in the barbershop area is preferred. And again, membership in the society. Responsibilities on the director's side. He's responsible for developing that annual plan for the chapter. Okay, that is and ultimately under his bailiwick. He'll use his team members to develop that plan, but the ultimate responsibility for it comes to the director to make sure we have a plan of where we're going and a musical vision for the chapter. Work with the VP to select the team members. Supervise the music side of this team members. Plan and conduct the weekly chorus rehearsal. That's probably the biggest thing, the most time he will put in, other than being at the chorus rehearsals, planning it. Direct the public performances. Supervise repertoire selection. Attend team meetings. Encourage quartets. Encourage and assist his assistant directors to develop them. If your chorus has performance standards, it's probably very important for the director to be involved in that process too, to make sure it's something that he believes in. That's important. And if your director and your chapter has different vision of where things happen, maybe we need to adjust that and get that, because that needs to work out. He needs to attend appropriate schools, CDWIs, Harmony University, Directors College. Those are important things to develop his skills. And the big thing is, you see there's a little square there in between lying between the VP and the music director is a relationship. Okay, and the important thing in that relationship, these two people have to be able to work together. Okay, in order to make. And you can edit that out if you'd like.
Nah.
So thank you. So laying between here is this relationship. Okay, the relationship, and this comes from right from the music team leadership manual. The music and performance and the director are much like the athletic director and coach of a college football program. Okay, the coach, the musical director, and his assistants deal with the instruction of the team and the planning and the actual execution of the team, while the athletic director, the music VP, oversees the operational and the physical and financial help to make the program run. Okay, so you have the music VP as is really an athletic director in this thing, and the coach is the one out on the field with the players. Okay. How well these two cooperate will have a significant effects on the chapter's musical program. They have to cooperate. So surrounding the music director, we have a team. And this team can include a lot of these. In small chapters, people may be wearing different hats, but here's all the things that ideally would be on your music team. You would have assistant directors, okay, who have conducting skills and some knowledge of barbershop basics and communication skills. They do things in the absence of the director. Okay, they fill in when he's engaged, either if he's not there or if he has another duty he needs to do. The assistant director can come in and keep the rehearsal going. Okay, they may specialize in specific areas. Like they could be the assistant director and they work the new member orientation program, or they're a vocal performance specialist. or a visual performance specialist. Okay, they could work with teaching quartets and stuff like that. So they may have specific areas that they do besides showing up when the director's not there. Okay, your section leaders. Now, like this quote it's in the manual. It says the heart, the soul, and the sweat of the music team. Okay, your section leaders. Sight singing skill is good. They need to be accurate. Okay, they need to be able to demonstrate accurately. They need to be positive and personal. They need to have the respect of their section. A good section leader is a guy that people want, just like a good director is one that people want to sing for. A good section leader is also one that you want to go and do well for and respect. Okay, and they have to be reliable. You can't have a section leader who's only there, who you can't depend on. So make sure those guys are reliable. They can have administrative functions, such as the new member, the member orientation. They can be the ones who take attendance for their section in the rehearsal and handle a lot of communication within their section. But in the rehearsal, they're there to teach notes, check accuracy, demonstrate when needed, monitor and teach and monitor vocal techniques. Be that guy in the section. Okay. If they're probably the ones who do the evaluations of your music standards, okay, and they would down here. They would communicate when they hear issues with note issues or problems that their sections have. They'd be the one to take that to the VP or to the director and say, hey, we got a problem over here. We need to fix that in the next rehearsal. Okay. Teaching quartets. Teaching quartets are a great way to get more people involved in the program because they can be used for teaching. The teaching quartet method can speed your learning. Okay, the teaching quartet needs to be accurate, dependable performers. Right? They need to be able to sing well and sing accurately because that's what everyone's going to do. They can teach via the quartet method. They can be your learning track guys. And it's important that this could be a handpicked set of guys. It could be your section leaders. It could be a registered quartet. It doesn't have to be the same one for every song, but using those involves more people in the process. A visual performance coach, a choreo guy, essentially. Okay, you pick a song. The director handles the musical side of it. You may have a choreo guy who will handle developing the choreo plan. He needs to have some creative ability and be an experienced performer. Okay. He'd be the one to design and execute that plan for the chorus. Okay. Teach the visual plan. Assist new members in catching up on the visual plan. Teach craft sessions and such. Okay. A large chorus. If you have a large chorus, you may also have row captains or wedge captains for the visual plan. Okay. They can help also. You might have a vocal guy who specializes. He may not be a director, might be an arm waver, but he knows vocal production, and so that might be a good guy to have in to help with warm-ups, to help with teaching vocal issues. Okay. Be familiar with the music categories is important. Okay. He would conduct vocal technique craft sessions. Work with new members to get them into the sound of the chorus, for instance. Do small group vocal instruction, okay, and help the director during rehearsal. Be the ear of the director while he's directing, because he can't listen and watch and hear all at the same time. So any of these, I like this part. Any of these jobs that are vacant become the director's responsibility, okay? Because if he doesn't have someone to do it, he's got to do it. And a smart director, which maybe I'm not one, but a smart director will involve as many of these people as he can, take the load off of his belt and make him, make his job more fun. Okay, so make sure he has a team with him. And I put this in there as kind of a little personal introspection. Caution: directors can be egotistical and may have difficulty in trusting others with musical elements of the chorus. And I think we've all seen that, but that's a little introspective thing for me, I guess, with my director's hat on. So now we go back to the VP, and now on the VP side, the people he also has a crew that's surrounding him, which include jobs, and all these these might be people, these might be just jobs that need to be done. But again, like the director, if he doesn't have people to do these, they fall under his purview. A chorus manager touches every physical aspect of the rehearsal and performance. Okay, need to have good communication skills. Extra time. This is a time-consuming one. The chorus manager may be responsible for the rehearsal facility, getting it set up, supervising the riser crew, working with the show chairman on props and stuff we'll need for the show. He may be the competition coordinator. Okay. As far as performance, he might be he might be responsible for booking shows, doing the contracts, making sure we get paid for the shows. You know, all the financial things, working things out with people who want to hear your chorus sing. Work with the marketing to promote the chorus. A lot of communication with the chorus from the chorus manager. If there's things that we need at the performance site, he's the guy who makes that happen so that the chorus can come up and just sing. So the director doesn't have to do that side of it. And he may do post-performance reviews with the music team to say, hey, how can we make the next performance even better? Okay. Under the chorus manager, you may have these guys, because you may have specialists that do, the guy who maintains your chorus uniforms. Okay, keeps the list of who has chorus uniforms out. If there's stuff that the chorus has in its own property, accessories that everyone has the same pocket square for their tuxedo, he might be the guy who does all that. Okay, and keeps that with it. The makeup manager. If you have a guy who's, not everyone, oddly enough, not every man knows how to do makeup quite well. So if you have a guy who's done stage makeup before and can be that guy who teaches guy who does that, he'd be a good makeup manager. You might have a prop manager who keeps the chorus inventory in control. Okay. He's sound management. He might be if he's a sound guy, be the liaison at the theater for the sound. Okay. But he needs to make sure that everything is there so you can do your performances. Okay. Librarian is a big job in a chapter. Okay. The librarian needs to be regular. It needs to be regular. Has the time because it does take a lot of background time to take care of a good library and have great organizational skills. He needs to know the library needs. He needs to work closely with the VP of music to get new music ordered so it's there in time. And learning materials can be made in time for the chorus to learn things. Maintain the guest folders. Work with the chorus director on scheduling when new music will be released to the chorus. You might have a lending library, which is kind of a cool thing. You have to have some stuff. If the quartet wants to sing a song, instead of going out and purchasing it, they can borrow it from the chapter, and he needs to make sure we're legal and no copyright laws. Or at least be familiar with it. Quartet activity chairman. Probably good. Quartet experience is good, and programming skills, creativity and programming is great. To get guys from your chorus singing in more quartets, because more quartets will help your musical quality. He needs to collaborate with the the program VP, and make sure that quartetting is in every chapter meeting. Encourage informal quartetting. Encourage formation of organized quartets and train quartet coaches. That's another great thing for the quartet activity chairman to be involved with. And then you have your show chairman and show director. Now these are normally appointed by the board, but they're going to be working under you guys and possibly be under your budget to make sure the show comes in time. Okay. You have the show chairman is probably doing the administrative work for the show. Your show director might be doing your script and staging and stuff like that. And they also need to be in on the planning, in on the music selection process. These guys this is very important for them to know what's going on. There's tons of communication in this job. Okay. And again, just like on the director's side, if any of these jobs that you don't have, you probably have to take up. So some of these are jobs, some of these are people, but if you can put people into them, that takes them off your plate. Okay? Don't try to do this alone. The music VP's job is huge. Recruit a team to work with you. Okay? So now we have this huge group of people that it takes to run a successful music program. Okay? And what do we need to do with this group? We need to plan and make sure that every year we have a plan for where we're going. Hopefully your course has a long-term plan for where they want to go, a vision for where they want to go. So it's critically important to have a plan, because if you don't have a plan, you're going to come up with times where you just don't know what's coming up in the year. And a successful chapter will be planning ahead. Okay? Set long and short-term goals at the planning session. Okay? Select your repertoire. A chapter, a calendar for the musical program, and importantly, create a budget from all this. When to do this? A lot of times they recommend doing it maybe early December, after your board has been elected and you filled your team, but before January, so you can come up with bring your plan to the board for funding. The first board meeting. Suggest you make it a retreat, just because there's a lot of business that needs to be done, and it's good to get away from all the distractions. You're going to need a full day to get this stuff done. You want to invite your music team, including both the musical and operations side of the operation, and have people prepared to discuss what their area of expertise. Things you need to do with this thing: review or create a long-term plan. Okay, long-term goals for the course and a 5-year plan of how you're going to get there. Okay, look at that plan and say, are we accomplishing what we set to do? Are our goals set too high? Are they set too low? Do we need to adjust things? What's working well? And if you need to make any changes to it, do that. Okay, make a firm decision of what needs to stay or not, and make sure everything is reviewed. Okay, but make sure if you need to change a goal, make sure you do it concretely. Schedule year out. You need to come up with a calendar that fits the musical needs of your chapter. Okay, you need to make sure you include both musical events, shows, events like that, and non-musical events like guest nights or your course picnic or a Christmas party, just to make sure you're not conflicting with anything. Your guest nights will take way different preparation from a regular meeting night. Shows way different preparation. Okay? And then once you do the schedule, it becomes the framework with how you're going to plan the year and how you're going to work the rest of the year out. Okay? This is all tentative, but it gives you something you take the board and say, here, this is what we think we should do. Okay? And then then luckily, if you can even say, hey, this would be a great place to put the guest night, and then the chapter development guy, the membership guy, can say, okay, let's work with that. And it might look like something like this, but just schedule out all the things that you need. Selecting repertoire. Part of this planning session is selecting repertoire for the year. So the most important people on the music selection committee are your director, your VP of music performance, you guys, the show director, who needs to know what's going on with the show and needs to have input there, and your assistant directors, and your visual guy, who's going to be doing choreography, all this stuff. Okay? And they say you might want to bring the whole team together and get ideas, but pare it down to something smaller to actually do the music selection. Considerations, degree of difficulty. Make sure you're doing stuff that's appropriate for your chapter, for your chorus. Look at what your show theme might be and use that to select music. What you're going to need for competition, songs that you might need for special occasions like patriotic gigs or religious gigs that you need to have in the repertoire. Hey, we are a barbershop group, so think about keeping it as a barbershop if you can. Okay. Sources, go to Harmony Marketplace. Actually, I heard that the music premiere program is no longer working right now, but is no longer being done. But we'll take that one off. There's some free music available from the society. Perusing arrangers' websites for the songs that they've done is a great place to find this. And one of my favorites is going to the quartet learning track producers like Tim Trax or those guys. producing going through their website and saying, oh, this sounds good. Let me see if I can find the music to this song. Scheduling when you're going to bring in the new music. So you need to work with everyone to make sure that that's scheduled ahead of time so that the music's here, the learning tracks are made, and the teaching quartet's up ahead. And then music training. While you have everyone there for the planning session, this is a great place to do training. Okay, so you can work with your assistant directors and your section leaders on conducting skills. You can look and make sure that we're all working on vocal techniques the same way, from the director down to the section leaders to the vocal coach, so we all have the same goal vocally for the chorus. You can talk about how to solve individual vocal problems that some of your people have, and make your plan for district schools that might be coming up. If some courses have performing chorus requirements, taping programs or quartet programs that you have to show proficiency in the chorus repertoire to be able to join the chorus in a performance. If you do, this is a great time to do the evaluation. Is it what we do? Do you need to make any adjustments to the program? Different ideas for programs are, you might have an attendance requirement to be able to perform with the chorus. You might have tape or section leader or quartet evaluations. Choreo can be addressed in this case too. But this is a good time to have everyone there to do that annual review of this program, of this aspect. New member orientation. There's a statistic out that says that it's amazing how many second year members do not renew for their third year. Okay, and or first year members don't renew for their second year. And maybe that's because we don't do a good job of welcoming them and preparing them to be in our chapter and getting into the culture of your chapter. So this is a good time to work with the VP of Chapter Development to develop and work on your new member orientation. Some ideas that you can do is, from the music team side, is assign people to make sure they do the voice placements and auditions, so that when a new member comes in, someone knows you don't have to figure out who's going to do what, but they know that that's their job to go ahead and take that role for your chorus. Early bird training sessions is one I love from the music team manual. Is an idea I love. You can have rehearsal starts at 7:30. Have a session that starts at 6:30, and it'll be reviewing, helping people get up to speed on the songs that are going to be rehearsed that night, or helping them get up to speed on choreo that your chorus does, or just on you can have sessions in barbershop history, so they get up to date with what our chapter and our organization is all about. Individual vocal instruction is a good thing to do for new members, whether they're a novice singer who needs to learn to sing better, or a good singer who needs to get more learn more about the barbershop style. Those are both excellent things, and the more we can do to make every individual singer better, the better your chorus will be. And the end product of this planning session is really to have both a plan for the year and figure out how much it's going to cost, because the board is going to have to approve any expenditures that you need, all the expenditures you need. So once you've planned what you want to do and when you want to do it, you got to figure out how much it's going to cost. So you can present a budget to the board, and be prepared to prioritize what you need, because the board may come to you and go, no, we can't afford to do. This is a great idea, guys. We really appreciate the planning you put into this, but we can't afford it. So what can we do to cut some things out there? So you need to have some priorities of what you can do. Things you need under your purview that you need to look at are your cost for music, and that's sheet music, the learning materials, guest books, barber polecat stuff, everything you might do in the music side of your program. Okay, director's fees and expenses. So you need to anticipate what the expenses for your directors in the school, schools and training sessions for your team. What's it going to cost to send your assistant director to director's college this year? have the whole team bring in a coach to work with just them maybe. Coaching expenses to come work for the with the chorus. If you do a weekend retreat for the chorus to get ready for your show, put that expense in there because that's going to fall into your bailiwick. CDs, recording equipment, sound equipment, video recorders, all this stuff that you need, riser repair, all this stuff that you need to look at. Uniform costs, and that may involve your membership growth goals and things that you want to replace in your uniform. Reference materials for your chapter, so they can check them out and members can check things out. In some members the show budget is included. In some chapters the show budgets include here. Other chapters do that as a separate budget item. And so once we've gotten all your team members in place and done this yearly planning session, this is what will need to be done. You'll have a plan, but at this point, to utilize your members, money to do this job, and be in a spot where you can have a successful year for your chapter. And that's pretty much that kind of takes us through your bailiwick of what you need to do as a music VP. And so we hope this is good for you, and go out and make good music, guys.